a grisly murder that occurred on Boilermaker Sunday, and as if that is not bad enough, photos were then posted online. One of the sites, by the way, and I've read some of this, it's just awful to read. People who are most likely not from here, obviously don't know the two, are making just comments, making fun of the murder, exploiting it, saying horrible things about her. It's I just don't understand why, and I get free speech. I do understand it, but I don't understand why they have the ability. They're a private entity. They have the ability to pull that stuff down. There's no free speech issue at all here. They could pull that garbage down. And apparently Instagram finally did. They disabled the account. The problem Instagram has is there are still people that are putting up images that they took snapshots of.
Yeah, screenshots.
Screenshots of images that were up there on Sunday. So what a mess. Lieutenant Brian Coramato is on the line right now. Lieutenant, good morning. As you've made your way through this, I'd like to say, have you ever seen anything so horrific? But we've had a few just horrific stories like this. But I think what we've never seen before is having it play out online, ever before.
Yeah, this is very gruesome and disturbing. One of the more disturbing ones that I've seen personally in my career.
Yeah.
And yeah, unfortunately, it seems to kind of hit this area every few years or so.
Have you read the Rolling Stone story?
I have not read the whole story. We did speak with them yesterday.
Yeah.
I did hear they wrote a pretty in-depth article. It's
pretty in-depth. They've spoken with people that are they claim to be friends of the young lady. This Brandon Andrew Clark is from Bridgeport, which
Correct.
is out there on Oneida Lake on Route 30. Is it 31?
Yeah.
Between here and Syracuse. What do we know new? Is there anything you have that we would consider new details this morning, Brian?
As far as when we put out in the press release, is probably basically where we are right now. We do know that they attended a concert down in New York City. It was Saturday night. We believe that we have a theory working that something occurred at that concert that ultimately led to that led up to the event ultimately led to her death.
Rolling Stone, the Rolling Stone
theory we're trying to tie up right now, and
that is one of the issues in the Rolling Stone story, claiming that she had held the hand of someone else. She rode down with the alleged murderer. That while at the concert, she held someone's hand. He became enraged and jealous over that, and that's why the murder occurred. Also, we've learned, or at least we believe we've learned, that they had a relationship that had been going on for maybe 2 or 3 months. What are your...
Yeah, we've confirmed that.
Okay.
We spoke to the family yesterday. They were able to confirm that they did meet online. We believe through Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
They've been dating for a few months. The family has met Mr. Clark and has been to the house several times. They trusted him to
take their daughter.
They trusted her with him to go to New York City. Trusted him with her to be with her. They actually liked him. That's what they informed us yesterday. So this wasn't. I know there's some rumors out there. There's just a stalking incident and things like that, and that's just not true.
Have you spoken to any members of his family?
We have. We have spoke to a couple of members of his family. He's got a couple of aunts that he's close with out in the Cicero, Bridgeport area.
Yeah.
We talked to them. We've talked to a couple of other people that he's been close to throughout the years out that way also.
And what do they say? Is there anybody that's saying, I always feared he was going to snap, or are they completely surprised?
I think it's somewhat of a shock to everybody.
Yeah.
I think he may have had some issues that maybe teenage, early 20, young adult life issues. Nothing so far that has been evident to us that this was going to happen. We have talked to some ex-girlfriends, parents of ex-girlfriends that had some concerns
Okay.
that have reached out to us, but we're still, it's still early, and we're literally still working, talking to different types of people, and from the friends group, from the family group on both sides.
Did you find what you believe is the murder weapon, and can you tell us what that was?
We found several knives at the scene, in and around the scene. So we'll work. We believe we know which one is the murder weapon, which is a larger knife. Mm-hmm. He also used a smaller, we believe, a different knife on himself, and we'll sort that out through forensics and to confirm that.
And does it look as if he had the things in the vehicle in order to commit the murder because he had planned it? So was this in any way premeditated?
This is something we're looking into right now. It's tough to give you a hard answer on that. Definitely something we're looking at, and to see if there was a motive, if there's something that he was looking to do prior to the incident occurring.
And I know he had cuts, and it seems like he continued to stab himself after police arrived, right?
He began to stab himself as police arrived.
Okay.
Once police engaged him, he began to cut his neck, and actually at the same time take some pictures and post them quick on Instagram as officers were giving him commands. So
he was able to post pictures while officers were giving him commands. That's just unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah. How it worked is one officer that arrived first. He was giving him commands as this was happening, and then other officers arrived, within seconds. Yeah. And once they arrived, they were able to move in and engage him and disarm him and take him to custody. Obviously, we saw the wounds that were severe on him, so UFD was right behind them. They came in, and they did a great job and got him out of there right to the hospital.
Because he had, there were things on there where he had, it seemed like he was planning to take his own life. Because he changed the date of his death to Sunday's date, the 14th. Additionally, some of the posts that he put up concerned other people online. They were able to go to Snapchat and look at a timestamp and location stamp that then they called police. Is that true?
We did receive a call from the original call from somebody from Tennessee. That actually called our dispatch before we were aware of the situation.
Okay.
And he did get information from the internet to help him know that we were in Utica.
Wow.
Or that they were in Utica, I'm sorry.
Manaski.
Have you talked to him?
I know he stabbed himself. Can he talk, and has he spoken?
We did have, he late last night, he was awake. We had a brief conversation with him. He ultimately invoked his right to counsel. And he was then, following that, he was charged with murder in the second degree.
So now once he does that, you're pretty much done. You can't talk to him now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, Lieutenant,
that doesn't mean in the future he may decide the attorney to sit down with us and talk, along with the district attorney's office. But usually that doesn't occur.
Did family members come to the hospispial?
He's not allowed to have any visitors.
Not allowed.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if anybody showed up there or not during the course of his time there, but he's not allowed to have visitors.
Okay.
Now, in the release that you had sent out to the media, there was the detail talking about. I hate to go back to this, but when officers came upon him. Now you said there was a brief struggle. Was he attempting to resist officers taking his phone from him?
He also had the knife in his hand. That was our major concern. Obviously, the knife could pose threat to us and him, and the officers did a great job to actually get him disarmed and kind of restrained so UFD could do their job.
And it is the belief, I just want to clarify, it is the belief that these weapons he had with him on the trip down to New York City and back.
We believe so.
Yeah.
We're still tracking their route back home. So that may take a little while. We have an Easy Pass. We have to work with Easy Pass to get information from that, obviously, which would tell us, what bridges they took, what exits they got off of.
Mm-hmm.
So that's stuff in the future that we'll probably have more on that.
Yeah.
Once our subpoenas are issued and we get that information back. So right now we're just working on some theories, but we won't know that stuff until we can actually confirm it.
All right.
Were you able to talk to, and I'm sure based on the theory you're generating, anybody from the concert venue that night or security or anything like that?
We've been in contact with the venue. NYPD has been helpful, and we're obtaining video surveillance from the venue.
Okay.
We were also reached out to at least one person so far who we believe was an attendee at the event that these two may have encountered.
So I just have to ask a personal question.
Sure.
How it must be for police officers. Many times, I know you said yesterday yourself you're not a parent, but I'm sure you have people you're close to, siblings possibly. How do you, as a police officer, how do you come upon a scene like this? How do you witness this and have these images logged into your brain, and how do you go home?
It's a great question, and we kind of stepped back yesterday and actually talked about it a little bit because the main thing was our initial officers that arrived on scene were exposed to all of it while it was occurring, and some of those guys were exposed to blood, heavily exposed to blood because they had to go hands on with them, and they have families, they have children, and they have to be concerned about things like that. And when you talk about the things that you see over a course of a career, it's almost like we kind of, you're doing your job, and then you kind of you kind of hide everything away, and we have seen that there's been suicides of police officers after they retire or at the end of their career, and it's definitely concerning, and it's hard. It's hard and everyone's different. Some people are able to do it, and some people they have issues with it, and rightfully so. And we got to make sure that our administration has offered EAP to officers and to give them help if needed, and we have to be aware of this and take care of it when needed.
I have to tell you, on Sunday, as the pictures began to be circulating, I saw images I just wish I had never seen before, and you can't get that out of your head once you've seen it.
No, absolutely not. And unfortunately, in a profession like this, those are images like that we see on a regular basis. Fortunately for the rest of society, that's not something they see, and that's a good thing.
All right, Lieutenant. Wow, just a horrific story, and you got a feel for the family. Probably we should be feeling for both families here. Terrible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks for taking the time. We appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll talk again on the issue. Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.